So this is video number 11. Number 11 covers Sprites. The image manager for Sprites, again, was written in the assets, but I'll quickly go over it once again. We have the ability to load default images if the user has defined these predefined images. We also have the ability to load a given image, and we have our default parameters being the width 0, height 0, center 0, and y 0. If these inputs are not defined, so for example, if the user does not provide a width and a height, the system will automatically get it from the texture. So it will define the width and the height to be the full extent of the texture. The center will always be defined as 0, 0, just because it needs a center point, and that was the simplest thing. We remove all the images from a map. We can unload specific things, and we can get the current image from the map. In general, I'm not too worried about the semantics of the map because all images should be loaded at runtime and should only be deleted at the very end. Once again, it's a map of the string for easy access for the user to request something from the map and get the image back. Apart from that, the camera also has to be able to have a secondary camera that overlays an orthogonal view. So this is automatically created inside the camera manager. The camera manager itself holds a current HUD camera, and this camera is a 2D, I believe a 2D orthogonal camera. So when the camera manager is initialized and created, it defines a default 3D camera, a default HUD camera, and also creates a God camera for debugging and the user to use. That's not very important, but since the current 3D camera is created by default, there is also a user access to get the current HUD camera and the current camera. The current cam is the current 3D cam, and the current HUD is the current orthogonal camera. So going into a specific object, going into the files, and for example the alien. The alien, when drawn, is drawn with the special function draw HUD, as I mentioned in the drawable video. Anything that is written inside the draw HUD will be drawn after the regular draw functions have occurred, and that is rendered using the current HUD. Again, I still use the singleton for the camera manager because I am currently working on a system to have the camera move around when paused, and I think the only way I can do it right now is to have it be a singleton. But going into this, I also have to return into the drawable, and the drawable manager, what it does is it will first draw all the 3D draw commands, and then after that has been done, our visualizer goes through all its calls and renders all its spheres out onto the screen. Again, this is done through its own list to process the elements, and for the final step, after both of these things have been drawn, this being for collidable and this being for the 3D, all the sprites are drawn to the HUD, given that the user properly codes. That should cover our sprite. As I mentioned, the only thing that the user has to do in this case is create the object, place it on the screen in X and Y, and place it, and then just call render. Thank you.